Okay, gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about something that is important to me, but also I think that you as young men here at St. Mary's, the message will be very pertinent for your lives as well. The topic of what I'm going to say is entitled, Be a Man. And you might be thinking a lot of things right now hearing that, but it's really probably the exact opposite of the first thing that pops into your mind when I say that. I want you to imagine something. I want you to think about being at practice. It could be any sport that you can think of, one that you're participating in now, or maybe a spring sport, whatever have you. And I want you to think about the message that maybe one of your coaches sends to you when he says, be a man, or grow up, man up, something along those lines. Now, I'll say to you that I've heard those comments quite often in my athletic career and as a coach, and to a fault, being honest with you, I have probably used them myself. I'm here to tell you today that I think that that message can be harmful for young men like yourselves. And what I want to talk to you about today is the idea of what does this actually mean? I think there's a lot left unexplained when a coach or an adult figure says a line like that to you. And honestly, I think it's the problem of false masculinity. I think in today's world, there are a lot of folks out there who think that being a man is about being tough or strong or maybe having the biggest muscles or even the coolest car. But I'd like to change that definition. I want you to think about this. I want you to think about being a man as the exact opposite of those things. It's not really about how many touchdowns you've scored or how much money you make, but rather I want you to think in the terms of relationships. Relationships like what type of son are you? What type of friend are you? What type of teammate? And then eventually, what type of husband will you be? Or what type of father? And in doing that, I think that if you can recall some of the things that you've learned here at St. Mary's or just from life in general, it really comes down to being a good person. And whether you're a man, woman, boy, girl, it's about those character traits that you develop. And in the end, one thing that I would say is remembering you at your funeral. Now, we don't like to talk about this much, but how do you want to be remembered? Once again, I would urge you to think about this. It's not going to be about how many touchdowns you scored or how many races you won in high school, but rather it's those relationships that you've developed throughout your lifetime. And there's many ways to be a successful person. In my mind, as your teacher, I want you to be very successful in life. There's a lot of different pathways that you can use to get there, but all of them, in my mind, in my opinion, once again, should involve character and integrity. And that brings me back to what we started the year with in the first day, right here above my head every day, the quote by Thomas Macaulay. The measure of a man's real character is what he would do if he knew he would never be found out. What this means is that there's a lot of things that you can do when people aren't watching. It's easy to make the right decisions when everybody's watching you, but it's those decisions that you make when maybe your parents are out of town, or maybe you're on campus and nobody else is around you, and there's a TI-82, which was the best calculator when I was in high school. Now it's a TI-90 or something like that. But nonetheless, the idea is, if you see that laying by itself, are you the guy who picks that up and takes it as his own, knowing that it's wrong? Or are you the guy who does the right thing? That's what character is all about. And to me, to be a successful man is about having character and integrity. It's about accepting responsibility for your actions and being accountable for things. If you can do that, in my book, you'll be a champion, you'll be a successful person. Okay, so ponder those thoughts as you go about your day, and with the holidays coming up, think about being a man for others, one who's there in those relationships that I've mentioned here shortly ago. Thanks, guys. I appreciate your time.